July 23rd, 2014. It's Wednesday. It's time for a staff report. Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's Staff Project Staff Report. We thought it was going to be a pretty thin video. We thought this was going to be about a 10-minute video tops, and then a bunch of new stuff, or not new stuff, but new information was received this morning. On the new release front, we're going to discuss two brand new kits, one partially modified older kit, as well as a couple of spot runs and some wheel sets out of Aoshima. But before we always go into new stuff, we consult the Notebook of Knowledge. Yes, the Notebook of Knowledge, folks. It's here this week to tell you about stuff you can't have. Nothing's been officially canceled by anybody, but Fujimi and Aoshima have some delays that they'd like to tell you about. Well, actually, they probably not like to tell you about them, but they're going to tell you about them anyway. We saw from Aoshima that their delays, at least on two of the three things we're going to discuss, are related to quality control. The pre-production and the end production kits did not match as far as quality goes in their minds, and so they delayed them into August and September. Okay, first up from Aoshima, the pre-painted BRZ and Toyota 86 kits. There are going to be three of these. Two of them are 86s, one of them is a BRZ. I don't know if the 86 kits are really going to just be JDM this time, or if they're going to include the Scion parts. They've included the Scion parts with every one of the releases so far that are Toyotas, but we'll see. Those were supposed to be out in July, then in August. Now they've been bumped back to September. If you really have a penchant for an 86 kit, I mean, there's plenty of them out there if you're just willing to suck it up and actually paint it yourself. I know the pre-painted things are very popular within Japan itself. It's not seen as sort of a detrimental thing like it is here in the States where, yeah, you didn't paint that yourself. Or, if you're going to be a total douchebag and pass off a pre-painted kit as something you've done yourself, there's that option as well for certain people we will not mention. The other things from Aoshima, the 19-inch VIP SSR wheels. There were supposed to be 4 sets of those coming out at the end of this month. They've all been delayed into mid-August now, as well as the number 44 Lark McLaren F1 GTR Longtail kit that was supposed to be out again at the end of this month has been kicked into September. Not exactly sure what the problem there is. I don't think there's really that many, if any, new parts to that kit compared to the pre-production kit. There may be stuff with that kit. I haven't actually got into building it yet that they didn't like when they got customer response back from, and so they've gone back to fix some stuff. Or maybe the decals aren't what they expected. But whatever the case is, there's something in the quality control department and they didn't like that. So they've stopped production on that, and they're going to go back and fix a few things, and then we'll talk about it again in a couple of months. Some of the American kit companies, Mobius, Revell, we're looking right at you there, could learn from that example. Don't put out crap, just go back and fix the things, eat the cost, and you'll sell more kits in the end than you would have putting out crap that nobody wants. Now, in regards to the Fujimi news, they have officially delayed their short tail McLaren F1 GTR kits into August now. You may recall last week we said there wasn't a hope in heck that they were actually going to get them out on time in July, and that has come to fruition. So, we told you so. But they've been pushed back into August. No official release date yet on those August dates. And that there's been no official news as to what that may do for their short tail plans overall. As you may recall from last week as well, they're putting out an additional 2 more liveries for a total of 4 of these kits, each with individual sets of decals. And with no news whether or not those 2 additional kits have been pushed into September, if they're going to try to do all 4 in August at once, or what's going on there. But, we knew the time was running out for them to get those out, and looks like they're not going to, so into August they go. We have 2 new reissues to announce. New reissues, I know it's sort of an oxymoron, but Hasegawa this morning announced for October. We'll go over these in depth when we get that far into the year. They're going to be reissuing the 1979 World Rally Championship Lancia Stratos Chardonnay. That is a curbside kit, as well as the 1985 Portugal Rally Lancia 037 Rally Jolly Club. I believe there's another set of decals in that to make a 1984 rally car. that also ran. There's an 84 rally car for this rally. It's slipping my mind right now, and it's too big of a, jig in the video here to actually try to go look it up. But there's this kit, the 037 kit, is a full detail kit. It has an engine, as well as having some black and white photographs of the actual car placed throughout the instruction manual. Both of them are supposed to be limited release, so that's what we call a spot run, where they're just going to throw out a couple thousand of these kits to sort of replenish the supply, so to speak. But those will be out in October. Now, on the new side of things, the stuff that actually came out since we talked last Wednesday, we have, like I said, one modified reissue Tamiya kit. That's the 1/12 big scale 240Z, as well as a brand new Academy kit. That's right, the Hyundai Azera came out this morning, as a matter of fact, as well as the Mitsubishi Fuso car hauler. That came out on the 18th on Friday, like we said it would. So, bravo to Fujimi for finally putting that out on time after the third date for it. So let's talk about these kits. Your Nissan Fairlane 240ZG Street Custom 1/12 scale. This is running about $125, $130. It is a big car. It is a big kit. At my club meeting last Monday, some guy came up to me with a printer box and said, "Hey, there's a 1/12 scale Porsche 935 Martini in here, but it has no body. Do you want this? It's $10. And I went, "Hey, you're damn straight I do." So, I'm now trying to source the parts that I'm missing, which ends up just being the body, as it turns out. Everything else is sealed. And again, that's another really big $130 kit, and I bought it for $10. You're not going to get that lucky with this, because it's brand new and nobody's going to have one that they've cannibalized yet. But the big differences here are there's some photo etch in here, the roll cage and the racing seats and stuff out of the Safari version of this kit are in this kit, so you can build it completely stock. The stock wheels and everything is in here to build this completely stock 240Z out of it. Or you can build it the way they're displayed on the box. Your big thing that you're really going to notice on the outside are those new Watanabe wheels. And there's like turn metal air intakes for it. And there's a couple of pieces here and there that are brand new, but a lot of it is just sort of a mix and mash of older parts. Those Watanabe wheels and the turn metal intakes for the engine and photo etch and stuff like that are going to be also within that new modified version of the 2000 GTR and the 124 scale that's supposed to be out next month from Tamiya. So I guess they cut the pattern for these wheels and they downsized them into 124th, and now you're getting that treatment on that Nissan too. Looking at the instructions and the parts for this, it looks really, really nice. It's the original tooling for it is probably 25, 30 years old at this point, but it's Tamiya. It is what it is in the sense of being great, and it looks like they went back and cleaned the tool up and did some maintenance, and everything looks really, really sharp and really, really clean on it. It's one of those kits that I had no intention of buying because I don't build large scale because I really don't have a place for it. But looking at it and seeing the Porsche that I got for $10, it's like, you know what? These kits really are pretty nice. They're kind of statement pieces. They're borderline career pieces. They have wiring and tubing and photo etch and everything. Keep hitting my mic stand. That everything is in the box, pretty much. You don't really need to add a whole heck of a lot unless you really want to go crazy with the photo etch and different wheels and there's different decals for a couple of these kits. And but just building one of them out of the box, it's going to take you a while. This is not those 112 Tamiya kits are not something that you're putting together in 2 hours over a course of a weekend. The other brand new kit that's sort of new, because technically it's a release of an old Mitsubishi tooling, is, of course, the Fuso car hauler in 124 scale. We've discussed in the past that most truck kits in Japan are 132nd scale. This kit, when it was originally issued back in the 80s, was motorized. It was lit up, like the headlights and the marker lights and stuff, all lit up with battery power and stuff like that. Fujimi has gone back, and it looks like they have cleaned up the tooling for both parts of this kit, because technically the car hauler, the actual trailer itself, was sold separately, because there is also the tooling for a Hino Super Dolphin tractor that also was packaged as a car hauler very late in the mid-'80s. Well, late in the mid-'80s, late in Mitsubi's existence in the mid-'80s. There was plans to do this as a Mitsubishi, as a Hino, as a Isuzu, and as a Nissan, all diesel, mid-'80s, cab over, big trucks like this. They're all going to be dump trucks. They would all match up and merge to this car hauler. And then they did a series of Japanese art trucks that we talked about before. So looking at the tooling for this, it looks super clean. They've obviously the delays that they did for this, the 2 months that it was behind, were all involving cleaning the tools up and doing some modifications to it. None of the motorized parts are there anymore. Now, the drive shaft still has like the separate U-joints and everything there that would make the thing work if you motorized it, but the battery box, the chassis, the chassis switch, all of the lighting, all that stuff is gone. It's all been replaced with new parts that make it non-motorized and non-electrical. Those railings that are on the top of the trailer are not plastic. They're actual wiring, and you have to go through and wire your railings in and everything like that. The decking on the trailer is molded through. It has like a diamond tread grate kind of thing where it's open through to the bottom. So that's really fine engraving work right there, where it's not, just solid. It's not just diamond pattern on a plate, a solid plate of styrene. It actually goes through. It'll look great behind perhaps some of the 1960s cab over AMT stuff, although the scaling would not work out quite right because those are 1/25th scale trucks. But it is fantastic to have back. Shipping on this thing is expensive. The weight on this is about 4 model kits, so you cannot send it via SAL, slow-ass logistics, from Japan. You have to either EMS it, or if you order through HobbyLink Japan, you have to FedEx it. Obviously, if you go through eBay, there are going to be different shipping options depending on where you buy it from. A lot of these Japanese kits are available, through sellers in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong Post has their own whole schedule of shipping rates. But from Japan, this thing is going to cost you about $40 to ship, unless you package it with a whole bunch of stuff from HobbyLink Japan into a box from FedEx, because FedEx ships by weight and then by volume. So if you get into a certain size box, it doesn't matter how much weight you put into it. You're just in that classification of box. And so, if you ship it with, say, 10 model kits out of Japan, it's only going to add like $20 to the shipping because they're going to put the box a little bit bigger into the next shipping bracket, but that weight of it doesn't matter because you're just doing it by volume. EMS is all by weight. So technically, while that's cheaper, if you add anything to it, now it's more expensive. So it all depends on how you want to go. So it's still going to be, it's $70 for the kit, $74 is what a price I saw on eBay just glancing at it this morning. Your shipping is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $35-40, so you're looking at $100. But again, this kit was selling for almost $300. So if it's something you're interested in, snatch it, or snag it while you can, because I don't know how many of these things that Fujimi ran off. I don't know how much into the Mitsubishi series they plan to go. If they plan to offer the tractor and the trailer separately, if they plan to do the dump truck version of either one of these kits, if they even have the Hino Super Dolphin tooling, who knows? Fujimi very closed mouth. You sort of find out about stuff, by accident with those guys. The one brand new kit you have for, that was supposed to be the end of the month, but hey, we'll take it a week early, is the Academy Hyundai Azera. This is a really basic kit, but at the same time, it's kind of neat because, holy crap, it's a Hyundai Azera. Your big thing you're going to notice here is that it says MCP, multicolor parts, and then intuitive build with loads of detail. Some of the engraving on this looks a little soft, some of it looks really sharp. It is a curbside, and it is, for all intents and purposes, like an unassembled promotional model almost. There are literally like 5 parts for the chassis, 6 parts for the chassis, 4 brake rotors, and 2 exhaust pipes, or 2 the mufflers, the cans at the end of the chassis. Everything else is molded into the chassis. It's not nearly molded as deeply as, say, an Ashima or a Fujimi kit would be, so that's kind of nice, but at the same time it looks kind of weak on certain parts. But, it's the bottom of the kit. How much of that are you really going to see? The kit itself is like 45 parts. And so, obviously when you only have 6 chassis parts, you're automatically cutting the parts content way down. The door panels are separate, and then the door panels are separate. There are 2 roofs for it. There's one that's just molded in black plastic and one that's transparent. There's no picture of the transparent roof that I can find anywhere online right now, so I don't know if it's transparent, like it's molded in clear like the glass, or it's like tinted transparent and it's meant to be like a sunroof, and then you can sort of paint the back half of it black or whatever color you're going to paint the model to match it. I find the multicolor parts really ironic because the entire thing, with the exception of the chrome runner and the clear runner, is molded in black. Chassis black, kit's black, interior is black. The whole thing's black. So multicolored in the sense, I guess, that black is the culmination of all colors at once. There's no, like, tan interior or anything like that. It's just all black. Actually, looking at the instructions for this, there are no paint call-outs, because you're not supposed to have to paint this kit. It's just going to assemble, you know, right out of the box. It is a kit that, from all the pictures and all the parts, looks like it will be really nice shelf model. You're not going to win any contest with this unless you put it in box stock, and box stock's looking kind of weak, or you build really well. But it'll be a really nice shelf model of a really oddball car. It's a Hyundai Azera. I mean, where was the last Hyundai kit that Academy put out was the Opel / Pontiac Le Mans that was a Daewoo, which technically I guess that's not a Hyundai, but there's a Hyundai Pony and there's a Hyundai Excel back in the 80s. They put out a couple of, like, these oddball Korean cars. These are not that oddball, obviously, but the build of this that they did for the box has no chrome on it, has none of the black trim painted on it. It's literally just assembled out of the box, and they're like, hey, here you go. Good luck with that. To make it look like this picture that we're looking at right there, you know, you have to do some detail work to it, all the chrome trim and everything like that. Like I said, in the right hands, it'll probably be a really nice looking shelf model. And, you know, in the right club or the right group of people, it'll be a really interesting conversation piece, too, because of what it is. Spot run time. 2 spot runs we'll talk about. We didn't mention this in the July release segment, but because I don't know if it was technically an actual July release, is the Tamiya Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 6. That was a restock at HobbyLink Japan for July. I think 1990. We call it 1999 because that's the website. Hobby Search. I believe they also got a restock of it last month. I don't know if it was technically a restock spot run or if HobbyLink Japan was just getting them in. But if you like that kit, HobbyLink Japan just got some in. The actual one we know for sure that is a restock, reissue is the Toyota Trueno A86 Initial D Volume 1. Now this kit has an engine, and it is a reissue of the Volume 1 kit that came out, I believe, midway through 2012. Actually, it's not last year anymore. Midway through 2012, they released this kit. It is based on the comic book version of Initial D. It is the first, Volume 1, so it's the first comic of the comic series, and so it's like the very first car he owned. So it's very stock. There's no extra intake stuff for it. There's no, you can't see the timing chain. It has none of the stuff that the Volume 37 video series one that we talked about last month having. So, if you want a really base A86, this kit's back out. Came out this morning on reissue. And then we have the 4 wheels to talk about, Aoshima-wise. These are all 18-inch wheels. And if you need to know more about them in depth, I suggest you contact Buckeye Scale Auto Parts on Facebook. He is our wheel guy here at the Stash Project, and he can tell you everything you need to know about these wheels. I'm just going to show you the pictures real quick. You got a Volk Racing TER 37RT set. This Graham Lights 57 Extreme. By the way, you want to blow this up to full size. You want to see the details real clearly. Then you got this Work Motion CRs, as well as the Workmeister S1 3-piece. Note on the 3-piece, it's not 3 pieces. All of these kits are 1-piece wheels. So take that into consideration. There's no separate lips for them, although, go back to who I just referenced there, and he can cut you some wheel lips, or you can cut your wheels apart, whatever you need. But that about wraps it up this week. We've seen some speculation out of Aoshima for the rest of the year. There's a anime and Wonderland sort of convention going on this weekend, and they're going to announce some new kits there. I don't believe there's anything automotive there. Their blog that they do in Japanese, which I run through Google Translate, which makes that hilarious to read, did mention a new supercar. Now, whether or not that was actually it or not is up for debate because the whole picture's pixelated. But if you read between the lines, you might be a little surprised. Anyway, wrapping it up. If you like the channel, subscribe to it. If you have comments or questions, drop them down there in the bottom. We'll answer them in future videos. Rate the video, and we will see you on the other side.